This one is giving garden party at the Practical Magic House. We're all sitting around sipping tea, crocheting. I mean, the fact that it is a fabric yarn and on the fabric is different variations of flowers. Like, this is just one of 5. I'm not sure if that's the entire line, but that's how many I found. And I kind of want to put them all together. Like, it does have a pattern on the outside here. It's the 3 crochet nesting basket. Always exciting when the pattern is not only on the label, but also it's a crochet pattern because it's a toss up. Sometimes it's knit, sometimes it's crochet. My cats would absolutely love it if I did the basket. Welcome into the Yarn Dungeon for a weekly chit chat of things that are new and happening in the world of crochet. A couple different things to chat about. We have some new yarn, a couple new crochet hook lines, one that is a totally new line, and the other one is a restock. Very, very happy this one actually made it back because for a while there, I had just kind of accepted that, okay, this was a limited edition crochet hook. We're never going to see it again. It's one of my favorites of the wooden line that they have. And I mean, obviously, we've been asking for this one to come back from Furls for a long time. So very happy that they brought it back. And then we need to have a little chit chat about January Zine, the pattern that is being featured, and then also the templates and everything that we have together for an entire month of January crocheting and movie watching and audiobooks and all the things together. So if you don't have anything to drink, go ahead and grab that, a warm beverage or water. We all need to stay hydrated. I know I need that reminder. So if you needed that as well, just go grab some water and let's have a little chat. Let's go through January Zine. Here is the cover featuring the Crimson Snood. Open it up to the first page. We have a little bit of a chit chat from the Yarn Dungeon, and then we have the index page for the patterns and templates that we're going to get. First up is the Crimson Snood, and then we have the Striped Tunisian Crochet Coaster. This is an excellent bite-sized project that you can work up as you're working the Crimson Snood throughout the entire month. It ends up being a 5x5 inch square. If you've never done Tunisian crochet before, I'm going to walk you through the entire process of how to do a Tunisian simple stitch. So it's a great one to get started with. For templates, we have Crochet into Horror, which is the movie log, Libraries of Horror, which is your book log, and then Notes from the Yarn Dungeon, an empty page that you can doodle anything that you need to as you're working up these patterns this month. Even though this is a digital zine, I like to print mine off so I can have a tangible copy and write anything down that I need to in that moment. Otherwise, I have a ton of post-it notes everywhere. If it's just a digital copy exclusively, there's a lot of room here that you can write around. So if you end up changing the color of the yarn or anything like that, you can write it right here. Also, you can add stickers to it and decorate because who doesn't love a good sticker? For the Striped Tunisian Crochet Coaster, it looks like it's very long. There's quite a few pages for this, but each row in Tunisian crochet is a forward and a return pass. So that is one row right there. And we're going through everything. There's also a lot of suggestions on the side. And it is essential to block this one with Tunisian crochet. It just naturally curls a lot, like on the edges. The whole thing is just going to be curled up on itself if you don't block it. So blocking is necessary. That way it can be nice and flat and we can actually use it as a coaster. Now we're moving on to the templates, and I've already gotten started on a couple of mine. So I actually have the sticker right here. The movie log goes by week. So I started this on Sunday, watching the astronaut, and then I've just been putting them in order that I want to. There is a spot for you to either write the title or do like I do and then just print these out. I have a tiny printer here and it makes it into a sticker. So for the book this week, I'm reading Darcy Coates' Dead of Winter. I actually have a lot of winter theme horror books that I want to read this month. I'm hoping to read all 4. That's a pretty ambitious queue for me. For my movie log, I have, I think, 3 different pages that I printed off. Yeah, 3 different pages because I have 7 movies so far. And if you want to know a little bit more about each movie that I picked for this week, I have a video linked down below for you. I watch a lot of horror movies every single week as I'm crocheting, so this page gets printed out quite often. And then we have the Notes from the Yarn Dungeon, which is literally just a page to doodle anything and everything that comes into my mind for this month. Pattern ideas, stitch counting, anything and everything goes on here. I love making snoods. They're just super practical. I hate when my ears are cold. They're functional, they're fun. I love a repetitive type of project. This is also really good to travel with. So it's not necessarily like outside of my house, but like putting it in a yarn bowl and traveling from room to room even. Please tell me that you also do that. You have like certain projects that will travel from room to room, and then other ones that you're like, no, these ones live here until I'm done with it. They're just gonna live here. I'm not moving around. I don't know, just the feel of the project needs to stay in the yarn dungeon. It's not going to my movie room, especially for my movies and the audiobooks that I listen to. Something that I got into last year was setting up the movies that I was going to watch for the entire week, like not just the weekend, but the entire week, because there is nothing worse than sitting down. Okay, I have maybe an hour, hour and a half to wind down for the day before I get ready for bed. And I'm like, what am I going to watch? That can take a very, 10, 20 minutes right there. So what I was getting really good at the end of 2025 was setting up my entire week. So one movie every single night, but that way I have a starting point and I can just get into my crochet project. Yeah, hopefully you're excited and you're gonna make a crimson snood with me. The yarn that I used exactly is from Muse 2320. It is currently on their site right now. This is one that fluctuates though. So it normally makes a reappearance in the winter time. So it's not gonna stick around into spring and summer, but right now it is front and center on her page. If you need a little pop of color in your life, definitely check that yarn out. Moving over now to Furls Crochet and what is new over there. First up, we have the Maple Ombre Streamline Wooden Crochet Hooks. This is a line that is very similar to the Tunisian crochet hooks that they came out with, and those ones sold out very, very quickly. I'm gonna look after this and see if they're even available, because for a while they were completely sold out. So the Tunisian crochet hooks do sell out very quickly. It doesn't really matter the color, the style, anything like that. There's not a lot of lines. They don't come out with launches very frequently. I'm hoping that that's going to change for 2026 because I love Tunisian crochet and there are a couple of different sizes that I would like to add to my collection. But anyway, we're not talking about that today. We're talking about actual crochet hooks. So for this line, we get 5 crochet sizes: 5mm, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and 7. And they each have their own color with them. So it's not a line where this is the color for the line. They're ombre, so they're dipped in different colors. For the wooden ones especially, I like when they do something a little bit different with them. So here is the streamline packaging that we have for Furls Crochet. So let's see which one we have first. Out of all of them, I'm probably gonna like the 7mm, which is slate, because that is the one that I liked the most from the Tunisian crochet hooks. So this is 6.5, and never mind, I'm taking it back. This looks a lot darker in person than it does in the pictures. Even the close-up pictures, it does not look this dark, which I'm happy with. Like, I really love a deep, intense mossy green, and it's a little bit speckly up here for the ombre. Just the effects of it all together. Okay, now I need to find a project to use for 6.5. I do have some beanies that I could work on, actually. It's very, very smooth, like even more so. Their wooden hooks are smooth in general, and then up here, everything is all nice and filed down. I always have to go through and check that because it is super irritating to me if I get a wooden crochet hook and then it snags on my wool, because that's normally what I use the wooden ones for, is anything like super merino wool, stuff that's light, fluffy. If I used mohair, I would use this with it as well, like a mohair alpaca blend. 6mm, and this one is the color Drift. Probably not my favorite color out of this entire line. It's just very, very light compared to the moss. I mean, yeah, that was such a dramatic play from one to the other. If there is any sort of like not polished, not filed down, that would be a total issue for me. So I am going to go through, not only feel it, but work it up with some of my wool that I have, just to make sure that nothing like that is happening. Now, that has not happened with me when it comes to Furls crochet hooks for a very long time. Way back in the beginning, when they were kind of messing around with how they make their wooden crochet hooks, that was something. Oh, this is the slate. Okay, I do love this one too. Let's put them side by side, slate and the moss. Oh yeah, I would like an entire line of these, like both of these by themselves. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I think these are just fun ones that they released. There's 5 sizes, they're playing around with it, and it's like a collection. It's not supposed to be this one is gonna have its own moment, this one's gonna have its own moment. No, together they are the maple ombre streamlined wooden crochet hooks. Each hook size carries its own signature hue, shifting from soft, airy light into deeper grounded tones. And then it does say, just like the Tunisian crochet hooks. I'm very, very particular with my wooden crochet hooks too, just because I don't reach for them that often. I love my metal ones with the weight and everything. 5.5, and this is the color rose. Again, this is a little bit darker than what it's showing in the picture. Not mad at all. I would take the darker compared to the lighter version. But yeah, during the winter time, I like the feel of the wooden crochet hooks. The metal ones are a lot colder, like significantly colder. When you pick them up, you have to actually warm them up a little bit. So if my fingers are already cold from just existing in the winter, this is the last one, 5mm in the color Bone, which is very, very light. So Bone and what was the other one? Drift. Bone and Drift were probably my least favorite colors out of this entire lineup. Moss and Slate. Big, big fan of this. This one just like the color goes into it. I don't know. It's not as poppy as I would like to be. And I get it. It's not supposed to be because they're supposed to be like natural earth tone colors. That's what this entire line is going for. So I'm just saying, my personal opinion, if I had to choose out of all these colors, that would be ones that I reach for. Now, when you put them all together, 1, 2, 3, 4, where's the other one? Still in the box. They 100% go together. It looks nice to display. I do have like a Furls crochet display. It's a little wooden block that you stick them in, and I think it is 5. I normally don't put them all in there because my cats like to play around with it, and I was just like really worried they would knock them over and stuff. The wooden ones I'm not so worried about, but like my resin ones, yeah, I would not be putting them in that one. The weight of it is 0.5 ounces, so it's another one of their crochet hooks that's very light. The length is all going to be pretty much the same, 6.75 inches. It's the iconic Furls shape of their hook and everything. The diameter, where we get the 16 to 17mm right there at the biggest part of the crochet hook. So yeah, those are all very similar to wooden crochet hooks that they've released in the past, and every single size is still available. That is something that I'm very happy that Furls changed in 2025, or I don't know if they changed it, they just adjusted. They have more stock available for every single lineup that comes out. It's not selling out immediately the first day. It's sticking around a little bit longer. The lines are here. I mean, you can go all the way back to their front page where it says restocks and new releases of 2025. Click on that, and for the most part, things that were released, they're still here. It says view entire collection. I'm not surprised that the Tunisian crochet hooks are sold out. Those ones are still sold out. I would love if they brought them back. I think it would make sense because we have this line of crochet hooks now to match the Tunisian crochet hooks. Feel like 2026, if it's not, it should be the year of Tunisian crochet. If you haven't tried Tunisian crochet yet, January is the perfect month. I have a tiny little project that you can go ahead and work up, and then hopefully we'll be seeing more of these out and about in the world. I would like to see Furls do a metal Tunisian crochet hook. I don't know if they're ever going to do that. So far, all we've seen is wooden ones. Just for the traveling with it, I feel like I would reach for a Tunisian crochet project more if I had metal Tunisian crochet hooks. Last line that we have to chat about this week is Ebony and Maple Striped Streamline Wood Crochet Hook. Very, very long name, but this is my favorite wooden crochet hook line that they have available right now. I'm so glad that they brought it back because I remember all the way back, it was November 2021 that these came out. I remember them saying it's a limited edition, limited time only. When we sell out, that's it. It's gonna, you're gonna be able to see the picture, but you're not gonna be able to order the hooks anymore. There are 10 sizes available. All of them right now are still available, ranging from a 4mm all the way up to a 10. And I do need to place an order for a 4mm. That's the only one that I wasn't able to get my hands on the first round. It doesn't say limited edition or limited time only, but in the description, it still says that our limited edition ebony and maple striped streamlined wooden crochet hooks are back. So I don't know if they're going to stick around. I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that this is going to be kind of like a permanent, well, here's the thing, they're never really permanent Furls crochet hooks. Eventually, they all kind of cycle out through everything. We've seen a lot of different lines, a lot of different sizes cycle through, at least for the entire year of 2026. I would like to see these here because on the picture that they have, this yarn bowl is there as well. They have it like stacked like here. I used to use mine to hold and like display my crochet hooks, but this yarn bowl is really nice. So lately I've been using it as an actual yarn bowl. The bottom is just super heavy. Since there is a picture of it, what I'm hoping is that we're going to see the return of some of these yarn bowls. At the moment, there aren't any on their site. So I think they're changing, they're figuring things out. Maybe we won't have any yarn bowls. I don't know. Like I said, this is all just me kind of hoping and the things that I would like to see. But this one was really, really nice. And also a hook holder from this lineup. That would be fantastic to see. But for right now, the hooks are all there. Weight is 0.5 ounces. The size is 6.7 inches. Every single hook is obviously going to be a little bit different. And then when my new one for the 4mm gets here, I will do a little comparison to see if they changed anything about it. It doesn't look like it from the picture, but in person, we'll do a little comparison there too. So yeah, these hooks are just really fun. And again, for the winter time, I love my wooden crochet hooks. One last thing I want to chat about from Furls is the Safe Keep 10 hook leather travel case. We saw this in 3 different colors: evergreen, beige, and plum. From the pictures, I had high hopes. It has a zipper, it's a hard case, and you can have 10 hooks. So when I'm traveling, I am not the nicest on my project bag. I'll take it with me, it goes from place to place, I set it down, I pick it up. I'm not like thinking to be delicate with it. You know, like I know I probably should be a little bit more delicate than I really am, but this is what I want for a case of my crochet hooks. It has been through it already and I've only had it for a few weeks. It was thrown in the car a couple of times, in and out of my project bag. I did drop this accidentally on cement. Like I had a big basket of yarn that I was pulling out of the car, and then this happened to be on the side of it. So there are already scuffs on the side of it, but it did the job. It did what I needed. It's a hard case. We've got this nice zipper here. There's 2 little parts that you can pull. And the hooks, these are the exact hooks that I've been traveling with. So I have some wooden, some resin, some metal ones. Basically, I just took a variety. And it looks like when you close them up that they're going to clink on each other, but they definitely don't. Because of the fact that this is a hard zipper right here, there's space in between it. So basically, this is my perfect crochet hook case. Out of all of the ones that they have available, this is exactly what I wanted. And the fact that there's 10 crochet hooks in here, because let's be so super honest, I always take more crochet hooks than I need. Even if I'm only working on 1 or 2 projects and I only need 1 crochet hook, I like to have these just in case, especially from October through January, where I'm traveling and seeing family a lot more often, and I don't have easy access to all of my crochet hooks. Having an entire line, basically 4mm all the way up to 10mm, is super handy. Moving on to the yarn for this week, we have 3 different lines to chat about, and I have 2 out of the 3 here in the yarn dungeon, and I have started 1 out of the 2 that I have. The third one, I just don't know. It's something that I keep going back and forth. It's not my favorite, but it looks kind of fun. So let's just chat about these 2 first, and then you and I can decide if I should even try this third one out. So first up, we have Yarnspiration Bernat Fab. This is not my typical yarn that I reach for. It's a jumbo number 7, suggesting a 15mm crochet hook. It's the big yarn. It fatigues my hand. I have to have a vision of what project I want to work with. Like I can't just go into this thinking, oh, I like the yarn, I don't know, I'll just play around with it later. No, there's no playing around with this for me. I have to have a vision, a destination, and a time setting of like, when am I going to create this? How long is it going to take? And when are we going to be finished? The deadline of the finale, it needs to be in eyesight. The pattern that's on here is the nesting baskets. That would be kind of fun to do. I only got 1 of each color. So this one is Sunflower Garden, and there are actual flowers on it. It's 100% polyester, but it feels almost like cotton, which is why I felt like this would be decor pieces in the Practical Magic House, just like tossed around. The baskets for sure on the side of the couch, maybe a throw pillow, a rug if I had more of them, but there's really not that much in here. 7 ounces, 37 yards, or 200 grams in total. So for this, the pattern, let's see, for a small basket, you need 4 balls of yarn. Yeah, so this stuff goes really, really quickly, and I only have 5. Medium size, you need 5, and a large size basket, you need 6. If I like these, obviously I can go back and get more, but I just don't know. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel, if I'm gonna enjoy working up with it. Just from like touching it, it feels very enjoyable. And a 15mm crochet hook compared to what I used last time, I think it was a 25. That was my latest jumbo style type of project. That's a huge difference. Okay, 25, my arms are fatigued after 10 minutes. 15, I might have a couple of hours in me. I think this would be a fun direction to keep going. But let's just think about this for a second. Pumpkins, ghosts, haunted houses on the outside of it, cats. I mean, there's just so many directions that they could go with this. They had this lineup ready to go for October, maybe even August, or halfway to Halloween. Let's just say that April, if we saw some pumpkin printed yarn, I would be all over that. Let's see what the end looks like here. So it does have that polyfill in the middle. It's not stringy. I just don't think it's going to irritate me sensory wise. Sometimes when there is like, because it's fabric, right? So it's sewn together here. That right there, the seam can sometimes bother me when I'm crocheting with it. So we'll see. Like I said, I haven't even started working with it. Tonight is the night. I'm going to do that. These are the other colors that I got. So I Dream of Flowers, just like lighter colors. We got some blue and purple flowers, a yellow one, Glowing Garden, and then this one, a little bit of teal in the garden. And the final one, which I think is super 90s nostalgic, is Tulip Parade. All of them together, it's gonna look wild, honestly. That's why I want to do a placemat, because I could very easily just do one row of each and then just let it do its thing, you know, like all of it right there. The next yarn line that I have is Yarnspiration Bernat Future Hope. And it is this chenille style type of yarn, medium number 4, suggesting a 5mm crochet hook. This is a type of yarn that I get overstimulated with very, very easily, because there is that strand of like almost string that runs through it, and that just constantly being on my finger, on my thumb. I can only crochet with it for a certain amount of time and then I'm done. I need to set it down. I need to switch to something different. But the initial feel, I am hoping this is going to be a little bit different. And there is the code right here. So when I was in the store, I scanned it. I was just going to play around with it a little bit and make a beanie. However, the very first pattern that came up was this pullover sweater. So I am starting another sweater. I've actually gotten pretty far in it too. This is just from last night working it up. Very happy with it. The feel is so buttery soft. To make the sweater, I needed 3 balls of the black yarn and 1 of the white. Basically, you carry the black yarn for the entire project, but the white you cut off on the ends. I'm really not going to need that much yarn, and it's the whole thing. So this is the back. I'm going to work on the front, hopefully tonight. Like, I mean, I got that all done last night. Pattern is pretty repetitive, which I do like. There's a chunk of rows, which is right here. So once we get to this spot right here, the end of the black to the top of the white, that's basically the repeating part. And then you just build it up as much as you want to. It's a free pattern on their site right now, so you can go ahead and check it out if you want to. After I figured out the pattern that I was doing and I saw they had a black and a white, I didn't look into the other colors that they had, but they have 7 in total. We have Snow White, Blackout, Cafe Latte, which is like a creamy beige, Fine Burgundy, Teal Lake, and then Mauve Over. There are 2 other yarns in this collection of the Bernat Future. So we have Future Hope, Future Inspire, and Future Impact, and they're all totally different. So this one is a chenille style. The Inspire Future Inspire is like a thick, chunky, super bulky, blended fiber. And then the Future Impact is another medium number 4 weight with blended fiber and just brighter colors. Again, we have a black, a white, we have a dark forest green. That one is kind of cool. These ones I didn't see in store though. But anyway, for right now, I'm going to keep working through this sweater, which I'm pretty excited about. It's a very easygoing type of pattern that I can do at the end of the night. And that's what I like to add to my collection. And it's also going to be a staple. So no matter how it turns out, as long as it fits me, which it should, I did all my measurements, I did a little swatch, a little gauge for the pattern. If everything works out, this will be a nice go-to sweater. This last line of yarn, I have mixed feelings with. I get my hopes up every time, and like every addition that they have for this entire line, I'm like, I'm gonna try it again. Maybe I was just in a weird place. Maybe I used the wrong hook. My tension, I know, is super light, so I'll adjust accordingly. And then I get into it and I just never have as much fun as I think I'm going to. But we have the Red Heart all-in-one sweetheart yarn. And I know I just set that up really perfect for you to be like, oh my gosh, I totally want to try this yarn. But that's just my experience. I know there's a lot of crocheters out there that have fun with this because there are so many additions to this line. So this is just the latest one. We have a ton of colors available, including Heart of Stone, which is a black heart, gray, and then dark gray on the outside. This is the one that I was leaning towards trying out. The concept of it is that it's supposed to be all in one. So start to finish, you can make a granny square with just one skein of yarn. Pull the yarn from the middle, it starts one color, and then by the time, like, you follow their pattern, by the time you get to, it would be the end of the heart for this one, it's supposed to change from one color to the next. So that way you don't have any ends that you have to weave in. The idea is awesome, and that's why I keep going back to it. I'm like, I should like this, but my tension is just so, it does not match the tension that they write for. And no matter what I do with every single one that comes out, so what was the last one that I did from them? The all-in-one quilt motif, I didn't try that one. The granny square petite, oh my gosh, way all the way back here. So it's been a while. I think I just did the granny square all-in-one square. Oh, I did the flower too. Yeah, the granny square all-in-one flower power. I didn't try the Bernat all-in-one blanket. Obviously, there are people out there that really enjoy working with this. I love the concept. I just have to find a way for it to work for me. And what normally ends up happening is I get one of these, I get into it, and my first square is just totally off. Like the tension is just all over the place because I'm overthinking it. I'm like, I know I have really loose tension, so I need to do it a little bit tighter. And it does say on the band, use this size of crochet hook or adjust accordingly for tension. So I have tried going down a size or even like 0.5. That threw everything off, and I don't know, that just did not work for me. What I normally would do is I'd get into it. The first one would just be all over the place. The second one would get a little bit better. By the time I have the third or the fourth granny square, then I feel pretty confident of the sizing that is their tension, like where the color is going to change. Then it brings up the question of, is that even worth it? Like the time that I'm apparently saving by not having to tie colors together and weave in the end, is that worth it? And does it make up for the amount of times I have to make and remake my granny squares? I don't know. It's kind of up to you whether you want to try this out or not. If you've done them in the past and it's worked really well for you, yeah, try this one out. Like obviously it's the same exact setup. It just has a heart in the middle of it. And so there are two different patterns that they have available right now using the hearts. There's a cardigan and there's also a blanket. So whatever you have time for. I mean, we're coming up to Halloween here very quickly. Just how many weeks? We're like less than a month, basically. You let me know. Is this something that you want to see me struggle through another one of these? Sure, I'll go ahead and grab one, bring it into the yarn dungeon, and we'll play around with it again. Right now, I'm only finding it on Yarnspirations, so I would have to order it, and they do take a little while to get to me, and it does say right now to expect delays for shipping. I guess unless I find it out and about in the world, this might not make it into the yarn dungeon. But yeah, I'm interested to know know if you're excited about this one. So that wraps up everything that I have for you this week. Thanks for hanging out with me, having a little bit of chit chat here in the Yarn Dungeon. I hope you have a super spooky rest of your week, and I will see you in my next video.